Tabitha's hammer by the sons of Warvan, you shall be avenged.
That line was supposed to be a throwaway gag. Instead, it broke Alan Rickman's heart every single time he said it. And that's the thing about Galaxy Quest, nothing went the way anyone expected. A movie that almost starred Alec Baldwin, a confession scene so raw it made Tim Allen flee to his trailer, and a sequel that died the moment the world lost its most unlikely sci-fi hero. What you're about to hear isn't just trivia, it's the chaos behind a masterpiece. The fights, the tears, the ice cream apology that saved a friendship, and the horror movie that inspired the film's most ridiculous scene. Buckle up, this is Galaxy Quest, the version they never showed you. Number 1, Tim Allen discovered what acting actually feels like. He wasn't ready for it. The scene was simple on paper. Jason Nesmith confesses to Mathesar that it's all fake. No starship, no heroics, just actors playing pretend. But when the cameras rolled, something shifted. Tim Allen went deep, maybe deeper than he'd ever gone. The emotion hit him like a freight train, raw, unfiltered, real. When director Dean Parisot called cut, Allen was visibly shaken. He turned to the crew and said, "Yeah, I don't like these feelings I'm having. I'd like to go back to the trailer." Then he left. The set went quiet. That's when Alan Rickman, watching from the sidelines, delivered the perfect line. Oh my god, I think he just experienced acting. It wasn't mean, it was truth. Alan had built a career on comedy, on charm, on grunting through sitcoms, but this was different. For the first time, he wasn't performing, he was feeling, and it terrified him. That scene stayed in the film, and it might be the best work Alan ever did, because sometimes the best performances happen when you stop trying to be funny and just let yourself break. Number 2, the movie was almost called Captain Starshine. Picture this. You walk into a theater in 1999. The lights dim, and on screen appears Captain Starshine. That was the original title. That was what Harold Ramis, yes, the Ghostbusters legend himself, was going to direct. A quirky space comedy with a name that sounded like a Saturday morning cartoon from 1978. But there was a problem. The studio wanted Tim Allen. Ramis wanted Alec Baldwin. When the executives wouldn't budge, Ramis walked. The entire project nearly collapsed. New director, new title, new energy. Galaxy Quest was born from that chaos. And honestly, thank God Ramis left, because what we got instead wasn't just another Ramis comedy. It was something sharper, something that understood fandom from the inside out. One bad title, one casting disagreement, and cinema gained a classic. Number 3, the villain's name was Revenge. Years before Galaxy Quest, Johnson had produced The Natural, a baseball drama that should have been a home run, but Saris tore it apart publicly. Brutally, the kind of review that sticks with you. So when it came time to name Galaxy Quest's villain, the cruel alien warlord who terrorizes our heroes, Johnson made a choice. He named him Saris. It's petty, it's brilliant, and it's the kind of inside joke that most audiences never caught. But every time that villain sneers on screen, every time he threatens the crew, there's a producer somewhere smiling. Because in the end, he got the last word. Saris the critic trashed a movie. Saris the villain got destroyed by a fake spaceship crew. Cinema has a sense of humor after all. Number 4, Alan Rickman thought Tim Allen was a joke. Until he wasn't at first, Rickman didn't get it. Here he was, Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, Shakespearean legend Hans Gruber himself, standing next to a guy who grunted his way through a sitcom about power tools. Tim Allen told jokes between takes. He skipped warm-ups. He made everything look easy. To Rickman, trained in classical theater, it looked like Allen wasn't taking it seriously. But then something changed. Rickman watched closer. He saw Allen nail take after take. He saw the timing, the instinct, the way Allen could flip from comedy to heartbreak without hesitation. This wasn't laziness, it was a completely different kind of mastery. So Rickman did something most actors never do. He apologized. He showed up at Allen's house with a bottle of wine and a pint of Haagen-Dazs chocolate ice cream. He said, "Whoever taught you very well." It was a peace offering, an admission, a recognition that comedy and classical training aren't enemies. They're just different schools teaching the same truth. From that moment on, they were friends, and the film got better because of it. Number 5. Sigourney Weaver was starstruck. She's fought xenomorphs. She's saved entire colonies. She's one of the most iconic sci-fi actresses in history. But when Sigourney Weaver met Tim Allen on set, she was the one feeling nervous. Allen, being Allen, saw an opportunity. He'd been a massive Alien fan for years. He had the posters, the memorabilia, the whole collection. So between takes, he casually asked Weaver if she'd sign a few pieces for him. She agreed, but when she grabbed the pen, she had her own idea. She signed, "Stolen by Tim Allen. Love, Sigourney Weaver." Allen's face dropped. He wasn't laughing. He was genuinely upset. She'd just roasted him in permanent ink on his prized collectibles. But that's the thing about Galaxy Quest. Even off camera, the cast knew how to mess with each other. And somehow, that playful chaos made it onto the screen. You can feel it in every scene. The chemistry wasn't manufactured, it was real. And occasionally, it was stolen. Number 6. A horror movie inspired the stupidest scene, the Chompers. Those ridiculous, slamming, spike-filled obstacles that serve no purpose except to make the ship actively try to kill its own crew. It's absurd, it's hilarious, and it came from one of the most terrifying sci-fi horror films ever made. Screenwriter Robert Gordon had recently watched Event Horizon, a film where a spaceship literally goes to hell. There's a scene with a rotating tunnel lined with spinning blades. It's nightmare fuel. Gordon thought, what if we took that and made it comedy? So the Chompers were born, a deadly hallway that exists for no reason, a design flaw so stupid that even the characters can't believe it, and Sigourney Weaver gets to scream the perfect line. This episode was badly written. It's meta, it's ridiculous, it's genius, and it proves that sometimes the best comedy comes from taking horror seriously enough to make fun of it. Number 7. The bathroom scene wasn't fiction. Tim Allen stands in a convention bathroom. He overhears two guys talking. They're trashing the show, trashing the cast, trashing him specifically. He realizes his co-stars secretly hate him. It's brutal, and it actually happened. Not to Tim Allen, to William Shatner. A Star Trek convention. Shatner ducked into a restroom and overheard fans, and reportedly crew members, saying the exact same things. That he was difficult, that the cast resented him, that the show succeeded despite him. Not because of him, it destroyed him. The writers of Galaxy Quest knew this story, and they used it, not to mock Shatner, but to honor the complicated, painful reality of fame. Because being Captain Kirk didn't make Shatner a hero, it made him a target. Galaxy Quest didn't just parody Star Trek, it understood the cost of being a star in someone else's universe. Number 8, Rainn Wilson was there. Sort of long before Dwight Schrute. Long before The Office made him a household name, Rainn Wilson had one job: be an alien in the background. This was his first movie. He was nervous. He had lines, but most of them got cut. You can spot him if you look hard enough. Buried in Thermian makeup, barely visible, completely uncredited in the theatrical release. But here's the kicker: Wilson's main scene. It's in the deleted footage. The moment that was supposed to be his big break got left on the cutting room floor. Years later, he'd become one of the biggest comedy stars on television. But back then, he was just another actor hoping someone would notice. Galaxy Quest didn't make Rainn Wilson famous, but it gave him a story, and sometimes that's enough to keep going. Number 9, the movie used to be rated R. Imagine Galaxy Quest, but rougher, meaner, with Tim Allen dropping F-bombs and Sigourney Weaver absolutely losing it during the Chompers scene. That version existed. The first cut of Galaxy Quest was so profane, so violent, that the MPAA slapped it with an R rating. DreamWorks panicked. This was supposed to be a family film, a holiday release, something kids could see, so they went back and scrubbed it clean. They dubbed over the swearing. They softened the violence. They turned "fuck that" into "screw that." And if you watch Weaver's lips, you can still see the original line clear as day. It should have ruined the movie, cutting out edge, sanding down personality that usually kills a film's soul. But somehow it made Galaxy Quest better, because instead of being a raunchy parody, it became something rarer, a PG-rated satire with heart. Proof that you don't need to swear to say something true. Number 10, the sequel died with Alan Rickman. By 2015, it was real. Amazon greenlit a Galaxy Quest series. The original cast signed on. Scripts were written, fans were ready, and then Alan Rickman passed away. Everything stopped. Tim Allen later said they couldn't do it without him, not because Rickman was the funniest or the most famous, but because he was the soul, the actor who hated his character but loved what it meant, the man who delivered by Grabthar's hammer with so much pain and sincerity that it stopped being a joke. Without Rickman, there was no Galaxy Quest, so the sequel stayed buried. The ship never launched again, and maybe that's the right ending, because some stories aren't meant to continue. Some stories are perfect exactly as they are, even if they end too soon. Closing. Galaxy Quest was never supposed to matter this much. It was a spoof, a one-off joke about washed-up actors and sci-fi nerds, but it became something more. A love letter, a mirror, a reminder that the stories we care about, even the silly ones, shape who we are. If this one hit you, drop a comment. Tell us what other joke movies ended up meaning everything, because the mission may be over, but the legend, that's never surrendering.